Welcome to SwillinGrog's wonderful world of beer. I'm joined today by Beelzebub, who you all know, and a new special guest reviewer, Drunken Outsider. And Drunken Outsider, I believe that you've been drinking all day today.
It's been a hot day here in Australia and I've been drinking.
Excellent, that's good to see. I think it only fit that we pin a medal on the man, as we say here in Australia. A bronze medal, that is. Anyway, only an Australian would actually get that joke. But what are we reviewing today? We're actually reviewing a French beer. It's called Blonde du Mont Blanc. And it's 5.8% alcohol by volume. And it's brewed and bottled by Brasserie, Distillerie, du Mont Blanc in France, of course. Up in the French Alps, I believe. Well, at least they use water from the French Alps,
yes,
according to the blurb.
Use water from the French Alps. I don't know whether you can see it, but there's actually like a kind of like an Odin or a King Neptune kind of looking guy. I imagine it's Odin, made out of the snowy Alps and dripping his water into the wonderful herbs and hops and malty thing. So it says.
All right. Well, I've never had Blonde du Mont Blanc before. It's apparently a Belgian pale ale, so it's also a style that I'm somewhat unfamiliar with as well. As you can see, it comes in a lovely brown 750ml bottle with a swing top, but it's actually got a cap on it, so I guess it could be reused for home brewing perhaps. Anyway, I don't know much more about it. It was actually Beelzebub that procured it. So what compelled you to buy it, Beelzebub?
It was there.
It was there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, a bit like Mount Everest. It was there.
All right. Well, that's good enough for me. But
the other thing too is I thought it was very interesting because I'm quite familiar. I'm sure some of the viewers will be quite familiar with Grolsch in the swing top, and especially when you get this is a 750ml bottle, that you can get a 1 litre Grolsch in a swing top. That's kind of like a Christmas special that sometimes they bring out.
Yeah, I do see that from time to time.
I noticed when I had the Grolsch 1 litre swing top that it was actually a little flat. It wasn't holding quick enough, or solidly enough to keep the tension on the seal. And but on the smallest 475, I think they are mil Grolsch bottles, it seems to work okay. I've noticed that the French have taken the tack of actually having it completely sealed and allowing you to seal it later, because maybe they think it's like a fine wine. These are quite a high alcohol percentage, that you can cap it and have it.
When do we get to drink this?
As soon as I stop talking.
Which
is now.
I'm really tonguing for a beer. All right, well, I think you should do the honours, Mr. Beelzebub.
Oh, I think Drunken Outsider.
How about Drunken Outsider?
Don't put me in
okay.
charge of sharp instruments, but since you are, I've heard nothing you guys have said since 5.8%. That caught my attention nicely.
Oh, there's some nice smoke coming out of it there too. Good to see. All right, well, let's pour it out into these lovely Leffe glasses and make an assessment of it, I guess.
Oh. It's got a lovely sound. I like the sound of it pouring.
It does have a lovely sound, yeah.
Do they all sound the same, surely? Really?
No.
They sound...
No.
Really, they sound different.
They sound depending on the neck of the bottle and the volume inside and the actual density of the material. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to start watching your beer reviews, because if they sound different, that's amazing.
Yeah, you'll be surprised what we find in beer.
So far, mine's the fullest, you'll notice, viewers.
This mechanism seems to be a little astray. I've got to do this to see if it actually fits. It doesn't. This is marvellous. It's round the wrong way. Is that going to fit for yours?
Oh, it does, but you need to show some grunt.
I divorced her.
No. Give me that, amateur.
Hey, it's round the wrong way.
No, it wasn't.
I had it.
Alright, well, let's make an assessment of the appearance. Well, the appearance is slightly hazy. Yeah, slightly hazy, like, golden appearance. Quite effervescent. There's a decent amount of carbonation happening there. I think when it was poured, there was about just a little over a finger of head there. You know, nice, white frothy head, nice tightly packed bubbles. But it does look awfully appealing.
It's got a little bit more carbonation than the recently reviewed Corona, and it looks like it's holding quite a fine head there. A little bit of lacing. See the nice lacing that's there?
I see lacing.
All right, well, let's move on to the aroma, I suppose.
I've moved past that.
There's a fine yeast in it. There's a fine yeast. You've moved on.
I'm picking up a lot of a fruity kind of yeasty aroma.
I'm completely innocent because I know.
All right, there's a bit of like sort of a banana sort of smell there as well. I think that's coming from the yeasts, actually.
I can taste that actually.
It's a very
These
fruity
reviews
yeast.
are actually working on me. I can actually taste what you're saying.
Yeah? Yeah, it's...
You can also smell the carbonation.
bit of a sugary kind of smell as well. Almost like sherbet.
A bit of goat as well, I thought.
A bit of goat?
Well, it comes from the French Alps.
Oh, okay. Well,
And Sherbet were a magnificent band through the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And I'm sure they were familiar with goat.
but it's it's definitely a very enticing aroma. So
It's very it's quite complex. It's very unusual.
yeah, I'm getting every time I'm taking a sniff, I'm getting something else.
Okay.
I know what you're thinking, Satan.
I am saying vanilla.
Yeah, definite wheaty kind of malty,
Not so
grainy kind of presence. Not so Brady though, yeah.
It's more
And
fruity.
like a lot of fruit and a lot of fruitiness and a kind of citrusy kind of smell there too. A bit of kind of lemon zest. Yeah,
Yeah, very interesting.
yeah, definitely lemon zest. All right, so we've talked a lot about the aroma. So yeah, it's evidently going to be quite a complex brew, I would imagine. Quite a tasty one, I would be guessing. Drunken outsider.
Lemon zest was the first thing I got. Lemon zest.
Yeah.
I don't know what zest is, but I know what lemon is, and lemon was the first bit I got.
All right. Well,
Very nice.
Lemon zest is where you get that funny thing on your cheese grater that looks like little nail holes, and you grab the outside of the lemon and scrape the hell out of it, hope not to get your knuckles.
Right.
And that's
yeah, you get those like implements that are just made for the purpose of, scraping the zest off the lemon, skin. Or if you're making a cake or something.
We are learning so much today.
We are indeed. Anyway, I think it's a high time that Benelzebub and I
And I agree.
did the taste test and lost.
We should do the taste.
I need
Proust.
this beer. Proust.
Oh, yum! There is a banana kind of hint to it, isn't it? It's a very
Can't open that.
fruity thing. I use my powers of evil to do that.
No, up front I'm getting a lot of banana and a bit of like, a sugary, sherbety sort of taste.
Yeah.
Much like the nose. It's got a relatively drying sort of finish to it as well. Definitely dries up the palate.
When you give it a bit of a pour, you get quite a nice head on it.
But
It's
yeah,
also
I mean,
ever so strangely salty. It's kind of like, I think that's actually the taste of the carbonation. You can really taste the carbon dioxide, all the bubbles. You can taste definitely a very fruity yeast. It's got that banana hint. It's got the lemon zest hint, almost like a sherbet, like this famous rock group from the 70s.
yeah.
Whiz Fizz was a popular kind of sherbet here in Australia.
Yes, I ate a lot of
Unlike
Whiz
Bucks
Fizz.
Fizz that came out in the earlier 80s.
Yes.
Bucks Fizz just did not taste the same.
The land of make believe.
And you're making your mind up. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Yeah. And
But we digress.
We digress indeed. And I think that there's not a big malt in there, but the malt is sweet. It's not caramel, it's fruit. I think it's dominated by the yeast.
It's a very sweet, fruity sort of a beer. And yeah, I mean, in terms of fruit, you know, it's banana there, it's, you know, citrus, probably like, you know, lemon zest would describe it best. And yeah, there's a sort of real sherbety sort of taste to it as well.
We don't actually know what it's made out of because the bottle is completely in French.
Yeah.
So well, I can't speak French.
Well, it does say Des Flanders, which from The Simpsons.
So that's Ned Flanders.
Oh, Des is his brother.
That's his twin brother.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear in many episodes.
No, not many at all.
Get the feel of this the last time they're going to invite a drunken outsider, but let's run with this for now.
I'm definitely tasting that sort of sourness and saltiness from the carbonation. Like, I think this would be a little bit better if it was not so carbonated. Like,
I think this probably needs to be incredibly cold. I think we haven't chilled it enough. I did have it down at 4 degrees, but I think you could probably take it down to 3 or something like that.
It's definitely carbonated.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, that I think it's quite sessionable. You can easily drink a fair bit of this. It is quite a high ABV, so you'd probably fall over, but it's incredibly moorish.
Yeah, 5.8% ABV is going to creep up on that.
Very quickly.
But yeah, it's very drinkable and very sessionable. I think where it's probably, where it really probably kind of falls down is, you know, the price point. How much were these bottles though?
$11.99. $12.
$12 for a 750ml bottle.
Each?
Yes. Which is about the same price as cheap wine.
And a 3-day growth.
And a 3-day growth, indeed. And
Cold chisel for those American fans out there.
And the ABV of this, what was again?
5.8.
5.8. So that's around about a light rosé in a wine. So it's getting up there. The carbonation is definitely carbonation. It's very carbonic.
Carbonic.
Very carbonic indeed. But yeah, I suppose
is it just me or you blokes making up words here? Is it just me?
No.
Carbonic's not a word. Tell me.
No, it is.
Carbonic acid.
Yeah, there is such a thing as carbonic acid. Yeah.
Carbonic
I'm
acid.
Googling this. Google
CARBONIC.
And how to spell it, I'm Googling it. You just keep talking. I'll work on it.
Okay. So I think you're not finding much of the kind of bread kind of yeasty taste, the grass or hay kind of yeasty taste. It's definitely fruity, not a very strong malt, not a very strong caramel, but a very smooth flavour. It's definitely a very drinkable beer. I think it would be really good as a dessert beer, if there's such a thing.
No, there is such a thing. Yeah, it could very well fall into that category.
It does remind me of Belgian ales. It has a similar kind of body and refreshingness to it as a Belgian ale, but it's a little more fruity, as I sort of expected. That's the French.
Carbonic can only be used in relation to acid.
Carbonic acid.
Carbonic acid. That's right. That's right.
So we took it out of context and we stretched the envelope.
That's okay.
All right, well, time to wrap this up.
I kept that to myself.
I think we'll have one last gulp and give it a score out of 10.
No worries. It's obviously very Moorish between our newfound friend and
Gee whiz, we've demolished this bottle.
both bottles.
I have
bottles.
to apologise. The majority.
That
of
must
it's
be
probably
you,
me.
drunken outsider.
No, it possibly was. I'm going to give him the first score if that's okay.
You've certainly
And
done
I apologise for my lack of understanding of beer. I just drink whatever's put in front of me. This is a very fruity beer, but I can taste some acid. But it's not a beer that I could sit on all day. So for me, I have to tell you, quite tasty. A variety of taste in one go. I'm giving it a 6.
6 for Drunken Outsider.
That's fine. I've been drinking Coronas all day.
Ooh, you would have enjoyed our previous review, Drunken Outsider.
I wasn't invited to that one.
Yes, you bloody were.
I was late. I was on the piss. Leave me alone.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess I've enjoyed this brew. There's nothing really offensive about it flavour-wise, but it doesn't quite hit the spot for me. I was expecting a little bit more from it. I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I would say the price is offensive.
The price is offensive, but that's...
In the 750ml bottle range
Yeah.
of the Belgian beers, that's at the cheapest end.
They are attractive bottles, and you can reuse them, of course, for
Yeah.
the home brewers.
Yeah, the Belgians are like $13, $14, $15, $16 in that particular style and size.
But,
So
it's not
kinda
unusual
cheaper.
in any way, in terms of, what the price we pay for beer in Australia, which
Yeah,
is just,
that's right.
absolutely, like, ludicrous, compared to, the rest of the world.
Yeah,
Would you rate it?
7.5.
That's fine.
and I myself too. If they had said it was a French mountain ale, I would have probably given it a better score. Because then it would be unique to its own category. Because they said it's a Belgian style ale, and my taste buds are comparing it, and my mind is comparing it to Belgian ales that I'm familiar with.
No, Chimay it ain't.
Chimay, it definitely ain't. I'm going to give it about 7.3. So that's 6.7.
No.
What? I can't say that.
6.93333 recurring.
6.9333 recurring.
6.93 recurring.
It's 7. We'll round up to 7.
Okay. All right, so we'd all agree on about a 7
You're
out
right.
of 10 for this beer.
Obviously, I've been drinking too much. No, we're going to give a fly as well. The fly's like...
So is it one that you'd really like, want to sort of, run out and,
I would
purchase?
use it as a like an oddity as a dessert beer. It's something that you go, hey, here, try this with your. Maybe if you had like a cream cheesecake with lemon zest on it, you go, hey, have this with it. I wouldn't use it as. It wouldn't be a sessionable beer. Beer. It wouldn't. Be
I thought it was
Beer,
reasonably
beer,
sessionable.
beer.
I thought it was reasonably sessionable.
But you wouldn't go out of your way to drink it in a thirsty hot day.
No.
It's
There's
not thirsty hot day beer.
yeah, there's a lot of better options as far as that's concerned. Anyway, that does bring us to the end of yet another SwillinGrog beer review. So, thanks for joining us, all of you out there, and thank you for coming along, Drunken Outsider.
This is my last appearance. Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you, Beelzebub.
He lies. So do I.
You would know.
I would know.
He's always watching me.
I know watching me.
All right, so
There's a
yeah.
place for you in hell next to me.
At least I know a lot of people down there.
Well, that's it for now, folks. So until next time, fare thee well. Or
Proust.